I really don't go to a whole lot of industry conferences, but I went to one about 2 months ago, and I came out of it with a business opportunity that was somewhat unexpected, although I had planned it a little bit. About 2 weeks before the conference, I was looking at the agenda, and I was really just scrolling through to see what the sessions were and to see if any names jumped out at me. And one name in particular did jump out, not because of his name, but because of the company that he worked for. It was a rather large company that I had followed for a while, and they're a large agency out of New York City. And I wanted to find out more about this agency and really just see if there was any opportunities that maybe we could collaborate with them somehow. Fast forward to the conference, and he was there. And right away I recognized who he was because I had done a little bit of cyber stalking, as any good business development person would do. So I knew what he looked like. I had actually connected with him on LinkedIn, and I followed him on Twitter, and I think I followed him on Instagram as well. So I was reaching out beforehand to introduce myself. I told him I was going to be at this conference. And when I went up to him, I said, "Oh, hey, I'm Eric." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, you connected with me on LinkedIn, right?" I said, "Yeah, that's right." And so we started talking. It was an icebreaker. It wasn't a cold hello, just like everyone else at the conference was doing. There was actually something there that connected us. Although not a very strong connection, he at least knew who I was, and I had prepped him that I was going to be there. And so he probably, looked at my profile picture and recognized who I was, or at least had a general idea of who this guy was that was walking towards him at that moment. So we talked for a little while, maybe 5 minutes, and the conversation came to a natural conclusion. And I said, "Well, it was very nice to meet you, and maybe I'll see you later at the conference." And I thought that was it. I didn't think I was going to bump into him again at all. Well, that night, there was a happy hour, and I was sitting at a table with a couple of people that I'd met during the conference, just having a beer. And I look over at the bar, and the same fellow is over by the bar, but he's not sitting down. He's maybe about 5 feet away from the bar, and he's standing there, and he's all by himself, and he pulls out his phone, and he starts messing with his phone. And what I realized was no one was talking to him. And guess what? That was an opportunity. So I got up, I beelined over to him, and we talked for another 10 or 15 minutes, and this time it was a lot more at ease because we were in a social setting. We're at a bar where, had a couple beers. And he asked about what we do, and I told him, and he said, "You know what, I think there could be an opportunity for what you do in one of our offices. I'm going to connect you with this person in this office." And he did exactly that. So after the conference, right away, he sent an email to introduce me to his point of contact, and that led to a couple of emails being exchanged, which led to a video call where we were explaining what we do to the person that was making the decision. Now, nothing has come of that, but the key here is look at your conference agenda and see who's going to be there and start making connections before you actually show up. I showed up by myself. I didn't have an entourage with me, so it was a little bit awkward, but still, I wanted to meet people there. I got way more out of meeting people there and talking to people than I did from the technical sessions that I sat in on. The key to conferences is networking, and it can lead to opportunities. Whether those opportunities turn into anything is a different story, but you need opportunities to grow your business. So, again, go to a conference. Don't just go and sit in the sessions. Find out who's going to be there beforehand. Connect with them weeks before and start the conversation before you show up in person.